Welcome to our web exclusive. I'm Mike Montecalvo along with Eyewitness News analyst Lieutenant General General Centracchio. We're less than a week away from the Boston Marathon, General. Last year, 27,000 people ran. It is up to 36,000. And the amount of people that are going to go and watch, obviously, are going to be a lot more. The significance, the one-year anniversary of the marathon bombings. Security, obviously, they're not going to tell us how much it's going to cost, but we know it's well into the millions.
It's certainly well into the millions, and certainly they've identified some 3,500 police officers, which is a composite of police officers beyond the state police, and numerous other private agencies that will be involved in the overall security along the entire route of the marathon itself.
So the marathon is 26.2 miles long, Hopkinton into Boston. You know, how do you police that when you really think about it?
You know, it's a strategic plan at its best. You need to be aware that at any particular point along that route, you could have an incident, and you need to be prepared to look for obvious places that might be maybe culminating a lot of people or a large gathering of people along the route. That would be certainly a primary place to be concerned about. And in junctions where perhaps there are a bunch of trees that could be hiding someone. So I think it's a real fine program that they're looking at to make sure that every single possibility is being looked at, and I'm confident that they have done that.
Well, General, the Boston Athletic Association is running this, but State Police Colonel Tim Albin did say that you can never eliminate risk. You're never going to bring it down to zero no matter what you do. You
can do as much as you possibly can as it relates to the physical possibilities, but everything is possible. You lower the risk and you look at the probability by looking at the amount of resources you put into it, the kind of planning, the kind of integration of communications, sharing of information. All that can be the best you can possibly do, and I'm confident that they have done that. But there's always a risk factor where the unknown could happen, and you get someone that maybe would be able to breach that when we least expect it. For such things as, if you're not concerned about your own personal welfare, that's a real red flag that you can't possibly protect against that.
All right, you mentioned 3,500 police officers. That's about double what they had last year. But now they're also looking at 100 additional security cameras and bomb-sniffing dogs. So, you know, that's an increase from last year. Not going to tell you where they're going to be strategically
They're not.
placed.
And once again, it's a strategic plan that they've made to look at those places that are high possibility of something happening, and that's what they would put them, such as large gathering places, perhaps staging areas, or around the corner where many people are located, similar to parades and those kinds of times where you may go for a long time and not see a lot of people gathering, and you come around the corner and there's a lot of people. That would certainly be one of the areas that they would look to.
We were kidding around before. If you go to the Bristol 4th of July parade, you're really on the road, what, 5, 6 o'clock? Because some of those roads are shut down.
That's right.
At that point. Same thing here for the marathon.
Yeah.
If you got 36,000 runners and spectators, you're leaving early.
Either that or you better get there the night before. And the same thing is applicable to the air show. If you don't get there well ahead of the major surge of traffic, you're not going to get there. And I think that's exactly what we're suggesting, that people need to leave early, certainly be safe, and be aware that when you get into a large amount of traffic, there's always risk that you don't need to take.
They always use mutual aid. It's increased this year?
I think so. I think there's an awful lot of coordination that perhaps we didn't have last year, not only from interstate but intrastate and interagencies that are sharing more and more in support of the overall security plan.
What about drones?
You know, if I were in charge, I would certainly look at that as a possibility. I don't know that to be a part of the overall security, but in today's technology, if they're not using drones, there must be a good reason for it. They do have helicopters up looking at the route, so suggesting that if it's available, I would certainly have it in place.
And I think people have to be on the lookout. If somebody's walking around with a backpack, looks suspicious, we talk about this all the time.
They do.
But that's the best way to police this.
They do. And your backpacks, coolers, large containers of any kind of liquid are obviously areas that people will be honing in onto. And you should be aware that you can't do that, or you're going to be fingered to step aside and take it off.
Of course, we're going to have complete coverage on Eyewitness News. General Centracchio, thank you for your thoughts, and thanks for watching.